Good evening and welcome to the 2020 PEGASYS Awards virtual version. We usually have a live event on Channel 13 for our PEGASYS Awards, but this year, like so many other organizations, we've had to change to a virtual version of our award ceremony to keep everybody safe. But we do have awards because just before the lockdown went into place, everybody gave us their best of 2019 from Channel 13 community producers and ICTV student producers. And we have judges that did all their judging and completed that, but we weren't able to do our live ceremony. So now we're going to do it virtually, and you are going to see clips of every single entrant, which, you know, if you're not that familiar with Channel 13 and Channel 16, it's a really good way to get an introduction to just a little bit of everything. We'll have 28 entrants, and you'll get to see about a minute, minute and a half of each one. And maybe you'll get intrigued by a couple of the programs. Many are series that are ongoing that you can see. So maybe you can think of this as your introduction to some of the things that you're less familiar with on Channel 13 and Channel 16, and you'll come and check us out. There's also the possibility, if you're a community member, of making your own show. So we'll give you information about that. And if you're an IC student, of actually joining ICTV. So to join me in doing this, since I'm kind of all by myself, I don't have an event, I have a co-host. And my co-host is Jeremy Menard, who is the instructional, the staff instructor for ICTV. Here we go. Welcome, Jeremy.
Lauren, thank you. Thank you for inviting me into this ceremony this evening.
Well, so between the two of us, we care about this awards because we really care about the people that produce programming for our two channels, and we care about celebrating them. We know how much work it takes to go into that goes into making a program and making it really good and making it your best. Jeremy, maybe you'd like to say a little bit about what does it really take for somebody to be a student producer at ICTV?
A lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of hard work. We have about over 450 student volunteers at Ithaca College Television, and every single member of the organization puts their heart and their soul into making sure the productions go off, I guess, to the best of their ability. Being the largest organization on Ithaca College, the largest student organization on Ithaca College's campus, it's something we take a lot of pride in, and we're very, very fortunate to have some great entries into tonight's ceremony.
We've got in our competition 9 categories, so we'll be reading them off, and then we'll be showing you a clip of every single entrant, and then we'll be announcing the winner and which one will actually win the PEGASYS Award for that category. And at the end, all of the public access shows will be competing across categories, and the 2 highest scoring public access shows will win Best of Public Access, and the 2 highest scoring educational access shows will win Best of Educational Access. So we will announce those cross-category winners at the end. So let's start with category 1, which is magazine format. And I'm going to read off the entrants, and then we will play a clip of, and you'll get to see what these shows are like. The entrants are ICTV reports by Kristen Marand, Madison Moore, and Stephen Heckler. Ithaca Kids, produced by Brooke Novello and Aaron Moore. After Hours, produced by Sydney Concorin and Amanda Benkin. All 3 of these are Ithaca College TV productions. So take a look.
Many programs exist throughout the prison system to help convicted felons obtain an education. Formerly incarcerated people like Richard can get help from local reintegration programs like the Opportunities, Alternatives, and Resources of Tompkins County, also known as OAR.
We are available here for a lot of assistance with finding apartments, with bus passes, with helping with employment searches, and linking with a few employers in the community. We have a parolee case manager. We also, a year and a half ago, opened a house for 5 formerly incarcerated males, Endeavor House.
In 2017, the township decided not to expand on the jail and instead allow the Center for Governmental Research to form a jail study committee. With the help of nonprofit organizations like OAR, the committee has brought down the number of people in the Tompkins County jails from 90 to 40.
We're there well beyond the time that they're just enrolled in college.
That was Benet Rubenstein, who runs the OAR's College Initiative program.
What we're doing is providing, the soft skills, the support, some material support, like, with Chromebooks and technology and that sort of thing.
This program also connects formerly incarcerated people with peer mentors at Cornell.
Today's word of the day is, drumroll please, storyboard. Storyboarding is the process of drawing out a series of shots or scenes for a movie or TV show. This helps to plan out what needs to happen and be focused on in a scene so that it flows and helps to set up what creators want their audiences to see. When it comes to animation and cartoons, storyboards are important to the production of their stories. Think of storyboards like pieces to a puzzle. Animators and other creators have all these pieces to fit together once they start on a project. Some pieces fit and some don't, so they have to order it all and make sense out of it. When they have all the pieces put together, they're left with a picture that later becomes their film or TV show. They don't have to be very detailed or in color, but it has to be just enough to get the ball rolling. Creating a storyboard requires a lot of work and a huge team. A task like that can take as little as 5 weeks or as long as 12 weeks or more. My hands are hurting just thinking about all that drawing. So thank you to all the creators out there who work on storyboarding. Back to you, Gwen.
What is this? You can't.
Mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes.
All right, fine. Taters.
Thank you.
Fine.
Thank you.
Jeez.
Gosh.
People are crazy.
Now we have cornbread versus pie.
Yeah, pie. Pie. Go with pie.
I put pie.
All right, last one. Can I get a drum roll, please? Thank you. Thank you. Taters or pie?
Taters!
Really?
Mashed potatoes.
Taters?
Mashed potatoes.
All right, I think.
What does that
say? No!
Absolutely not!
The winner is creamed onion! You people are crazy! Mashed taters, fine, all right. Jesus Christ. It's ridiculous. What is...
Well, you heard it here, folks. Mashed potatoes is the best Thanksgiving food at the table. Stay tuned because we'll have more jokes, good music, and an absolutely great show.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and let me put up the judges' score sheet. But before I do that, let me say something about the judges. We had 3 judges this year, and we're really grateful to have judges every year. Every year it's somebody different, so we really want to have independent judges. Our judges this year were Chris Exaver, who is a video professor at Tompkins Cortland Community College. She is the chair of the department there. Greg Levin, who is a professional videographer. And Sonia Hicks, who is a longtime Pegasus producer, and she is a winner of a past Pegasus Award. So all 3 of them watched all of the entries and did all of the judging. Let's see what they thought of the magazine format category. So as you can see, the winner is ICTV Reports. And even though they're not actually here with us, they were kind enough to send us an acceptance speech. So let's listen to that.
Hi everyone, my name is Krista Miranda. I'm the host of ICTV Reports. I'm one of the content producers.
Hi everyone, my name is Madison Moore and I was one of the content producers for the fall 2019 semester.
Hello, my name is Stephen Heckler and I was the technical producer.
And we want to thank you all for this incredible honor. ICTV Reports started a little over 3 years ago, and it's a monthly news magazine show that looks at issues happening within Ithaca and Tompkins County. We really focus on covering stories that matter to the community.
And we had a really successful fall 2019 semester. We were able to cover a wide range of pressing issues, including a sit-down with the mayor of Ithaca, as well as vaping-related illnesses and vaccinations.
There were a lot of long nights of editing in the newsroom and rushing around park, but we could not have done it without our hardworking crew, cast, and colleagues.
Again, on behalf of the ICTV Reports Fall 2019 cast and crew, we thank you so much.
We hope everyone stays safe and healthy and has a great night.
We're now going to take a look at the second category of tonight's ceremony, and that is the sports category. And we have 5 entrants from Ithaca College Television. The first being Bombers Live, which is the live play-by-play coverage of Ithaca College athletics, whether it's football in the fall or men's and women's basketball in the winter, produced by Colin Holmes and Quinn Theobald. Our second entry is the Gridiron Report, which is a weekly recap show of Ithaca College football during the fall. Kat Snyder, Ben Cook, and Jack Powers are the producers. Sports Final, Sunday evening sports recap show, kind of like ICTV's Sports Center, and that is produced by Garrett Bampos, Brian Barnes, and Manny Sanchez. Big Red Face-Off is a weekly recap show of everything Cornell hockey, whether it's the men's or the women's team, going through matchups and analysis. Connor Quinn and Grace Dury are the producers of that show. And our final entry, number 5, Hold That Thought, a weekly sports debate show produced by Pat McNeely and Rachel Connor. So let's take a look at all the clips.
Bombers have been outscored in all quarters but one. That was the first. There's Gioni. 20 seconds to go. Guarded by Ortea. Here's O'Reilly. Back to Yeoman. Yeoman, fadeaway jumper, doesn't go as she's called for a travel.
She is not called for a travel. Actually, they will be calling a foul there. I do not think Yeoman will be going to the line. It looks like, oh wow, they're calling it in the act of shooting there.
Well, a travel was called, but it was waved off.
Looks like they're actually going to send Yeoman to the line in the act of shooting on this one.
The ref actually did call a travel at first, but then changed it. Ben White goes silent there.
And Joe, you had your hand in all 5 of the Bombers' touchdowns yesterday. What was going through your head in the pregame that fueled your performance on the field during the game?
Just play our game. I don't think it was anything going through, my head in pregame. I just think all our guys just prepare so hard, and I just think, an opportunity like that from what we do from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all throughout the week, it just propelled us to just play well on Saturday.
Now, Jimmy, you've had to block for 4 different running backs. And I spoke to Kyle Byrne, and he said, we just block forever, it doesn't matter. But is it different with each running back? Is it hard? And then once you throw Joe into the mix and he's running it up the middle 30 times, is that harder for you guys?
For the O-line, we kind of don't really worry about what's going on behind us. We don't look at the signals. We don't, Joe leaves half the information out of it. Just if it's a pass, he gives us the protection. If it's a run, RPO, he just tells us what we have to do. So most of the time, we don't even know where the ball's going. It could go 2 different ways. So I guess, definitely Joe runs a little different than Kendall, who's trying to hit it on the outside with some speed, and AJ hitting it on the outside with speed. But I think they all do a pretty good job on, reading our blocks and being patient and, making the right cuts.
So as I mentioned earlier, what did the team do in their first game against Rochester that they just couldn't seem to do in the semifinal matchup?
Can you repeat the question?
Excuse me?
Can you repeat the question?
Oh yeah, of course. So obviously they played against Rochester earlier, and what did they just not continue to do throughout their second game that led them to losing in the semifinal?
So in this one, they didn't get the offensive start that they needed. And in the earlier game, they did. They scored their first goal in the same time frame. And pretty much Rochester just had their offense
pretty much powered on since the start.
Cam, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now for our Athletes of the Week.
We're going to start with an Athlete of the Week value pack. The men's swimming team not only beat Lemoyne 204-96 in the pool, but also set some records in the process. The 400 medley relay team consisting of Spencer Brownwell, Andrew Mikhailchenko, Nate Bartolo, and Michael Sheehan set a new school record with a time of 3 minutes and 36.19 seconds and is now the fastest time in Ithaca's history.
Our second athlete of the day is Ithaca wrestling transfer Jordan Wallace. Wallace enjoyed a fantastic IC debut on the weekend, lapping the field in impressive fashion to take the title at 174 pounds. Wallace won the first place match by decision over RIT's Joe Lupacella.
Well, let's look at number 3. That comes against Clarkson on February 8th. Jeff Malott fighting through defensemen, cutting to the net and putting it in the back.
Like I said, Jeff Malott was just such a big part of this offense, and in that game, he went off.
He really did. And then number 2 comes against Princeton on January 4th. That's Brendan Locke to Morgan Barron. What do you think?
That's just a solid goal, and especially against Princeton at their home ice, taking advantage of that. And he didn't even knock over the goal. He avoided that, too.
No,
Pretty
he
impressive.
Completely undressed the goaltender right there. And now the top goal of the season, Michael Regish.
Beautiful.
Cornell wins 4-0.
Absolutely beautiful. Look at the crowd. People were losing their minds. That one was just so much fun to watch live.
Indeed.
Look at this. Whoop. Yep.
He just cuts right around them.
My goodness.
He has great puck control.
Yeah.
So a lot of big plays and a lot of big players. Who's your ECAC Player of the Year?
So my ECAC Player of the Year would be Adam Fox from Harvard. The guy has just been absolutely spectacular. He's a Hobie Baker candidate. And he is just one of those players that is going to be heavily missed because he will be going to the NHL. He's racked up 48 points over the course of the season. He's one of the best skaters in the NCAA.
Hey, Jake, you with me? Hey, TJ, how's it going? This is Jake Binder, who pitched 7 innings of the no-hitter. Jake, I got a question for you. Yes. What was more impressive, your no-hitter or outscoring Canton 34-0 in one day?
Wow. Of the two, I'd probably have to say that the 34-0 score differential is definitely more impressive. It's kind of interesting in baseball where you have hitting is quite interesting when you have a 30% success rate. In hitting, it's so called to be like a positive thing. You bat 300, it's a positive thing. So when you have a complete effort of 9 guys, so to speak, putting up video game.
Appreciate you, Jake. I appreciate you. Be well. Thank you for making my argument for me.
Yeah, it's almost as impressive as when you outscored them 38-0 the year before. Almost as impressive as when you outscored them by 38 just a year ago.
No, there's no doubt that the no-hitter's impressive. I personally don't think I have any more arguing to do. But
I still can't believe
it. But at this point, when you're up 7-8 runs, the other team just starts to cycle in their scrubs. So you're getting scrubs that you're pitching against. When you are the one beating a team like that, you put in your scrubs. Jake even said to me, he's like, every pitcher got in that bat.
So I hope you can see that we're really lucky to have such great sports coverage from ICTV. Let's see what the judges thought of the sports category. And as you can see, the winner is Bombers Live. And we have a few words from the Bombers Live production team, so let's listen to them.
Thank you so much to everyone that is a part of the PEGASYS Awards. We really appreciate this honors. Being able to cover an incredible season for our school was a better experience than I could have ever asked for. And being able to do it with the cast and crew that we had was amazing. Thank you so much to our station manager at the time, Patricia Vescalia, and our executive sports producer, Danielle Shear. They were a huge hand in making this season happen. This season's coverage would not have been possible without the ICTV staff members that helped us along the way. Jeremy, Paul, Dick, Alan, and Amy, we owe you guys everything. Ithaca has given us a huge, unique experience that I could not be more thankful for, and I'm so glad to be recognized for all the hard work that we put in this season. And finally, a huge thank you to the Ithaca men's and women's basketball teams and everyone at Ithaca Athletics. Without those amazing teams and the crazy seasons that they had, we would have nothing to showcase. So congratulations to them, and thanks everybody.
Yeah, and basically just following up with what Quinn said, thanks again to everyone who helped us pull this off. It was a ton of games, and everyone was their own individual cog in the wheel, so it was a team effort, like through and through. So just thanks again to everybody. And it was my senior year, and that was my senior spring, and it was by far my favorite part of my senior year in general. So it was a great fun to produce. So, and I want to say thanks to my parents for helping me pursue a career in TV, because I don't know, TV is a crazy career to pursue in general, and they've always told me to follow my dreams. So Bombers Live is a product of that. So thank you very much.
Our next category is PEGASYS Studio. Things produced in our PEGASYS Studio by public access community producers. This year, we've got 3 entrants in this category. And curiously, we've got 2 studios here, a main studio, which is larger and you can have a large number of guests and a fairly sizable crew, and a mini studio, which is meant for just one person to go in there and flip a switch, have it be sort of turnkey, and you can just talk to the camera in just moments and be live, take calls, or pre-record a show and play videos, whatever you'd like. And it so happens that all 3 of our entrants are done in the mini studio. So let me read off the entrants in this category. The first is Political Point by Will Metro, and he's been producing political commentary shows for years now. Our second entrant is Walk in the Park, produced by Tony Ingram. He is a former retired park ranger who helps share the natural area of the Finger Lakes with all of us. And finally, the IDUU Power Hour. IDUU stands for Ithaca Drug Users Union Power Hour. And this show is the newest show. It's a brand new show. They've only done about a dozen episodes, and they are a community of drug users who are advocates, and they actually work as counselors in various programs, as well as talk to people from different walks of professional life dealing with drug issues. And they've been learning how to use the mini studio. So they are our newest entrant, and they are produced by Brian Briggs and Anthony Seidel and Cassandra Ponton. So let's take a look at our 3 entrants.
Seem frustrated. The planet has a fever, and the scientific community has told us that we really have to make a big change. And so Live Earth will be the largest concert in the history of the world, 7 continents, and it's designed not only to send the message, SOS, but also to send the information on how we can solve this crisis and to kick off a 3-year planet-wide mass persuasion campaign.
Oh, please. Now, that is just ridiculous. Now, don't let yourselves be indoctrinated, all right, by all of this, okay? Now, don't let yourselves be indoctrinated. Okay, you had Al Gore, the biggest liar on the planet about this, all right, and now who predicted that the world was going to end in 2015. Apparently, he was using the Mayan calendar, because boy, was he wrong. All right.
So there's Teganic Point sticking out into the lake, and you notice where the gorge is coming from the left, and then just where it joins the lake, and you can see maybe the highway going through there, New York State Route 89, and goes up the west side of Cayuga Lake, all the way from Ithaca, all the way up to Seneca Falls and beyond. Well, there's where the gorge ends, there's kind of a little bit open area, just to the left of the road. That's where we're going to start off our walk to Teganic Falls with hundreds of other people. So I was there yesterday with my video camera borrowed from PEGASYS. Okay, I'm standing here with Josh Teeter, who is the environmental educator for the Finger Lakes State Parks. And what's going on here, Josh?
Today's our first day hike, so we're encouraging people to come out on January 1st and start the new year off doing something that's good for their bodies, and good for their minds as well, getting out on the trails.
People coming down.
It's fantastic, and we're really happy that it's not raining. Everybody's here and going to have a great time, and we're hoping to do this many, many more times.
We stigmatize drug users so much because we stigmatize drug use. As if someone is using a drug, then they're not capable of doing anything past that in their life. And I just don't think that's true. I don't think that Suboxone or methadone are abstinence. They are opioids. And I know people have, this is another matter of disagreement, but I think that they're not abstinence-based. It's not an abstinence-based thing. They're for people who really couldn't remain abstinent, right? And still, even though they can't remain abstinent, if they're on those medications, can still have a great quality of life. And we try to focus on that. We think that instead of focusing on abstinence, the focus should be on giving someone the best chance at having the best quality of life possible, right?
Yes, and what I would say is I think that sometimes throwing the word abstinence into the mix actually makes the issue really volatile for people. And so I try and not really talk about that.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to medication-assisted treatment like Suboxone, like methadone.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. And the winner, as you can see from the judges' score sheet, is IDUU Power Hour. And we've gotten them the three of them managed to get on a cell phone call and say a few words for us. So let's take a look at that.
Hey, hello. This is Brian Briggs, and I'm just here to thank everybody who was involved in getting the Ithaca Drug Users Union Power Hour PEGASYS for the best in-studio show, award. I'm kind of blown away. We put on a better show than I thought, and I thought we were putting on a good show, but it wouldn't have been possible without the help from all the guests who came on, Cars, staff, and Lauren at the studio, who helped us out on more occasions than I could even begin to count. We hope the message from the show keeps getting out there. Harm reduction works. Drug users are equal human beings too. And with that, I'm going to give this to Tony.
I really don't know what to add to that, except I'd like to say thank you to all the people that watched the show and have stopped us on the streets and said thank you. I really appreciate y'all. Because we do this for you.
Don't forget the mother who called in.
I'd like to thank all the guests that took time out of their day to help us with our show, and most of all Lauren for putting up with our insanity and giving us a chance to do this. I'd like to thank Reach, STEP, Cars, the entire recovery community, OAR, CIU, and most of all, Sarah Chalmers from Civic Ensemble Reentry Theater Program for giving us the platform to start doing this.
Hi guys, it's Cassandra. I just wanted to thank Brian and Tony and Leroy for helping put this together and get this all started.
Can't forget Leroy.
Yeah, and I'm just really excited for what the future holds for the Drug Users Union and the TV show, and I wanted to thank Lauren as well for dealing with our insanity, as Tony said, and I'm so grateful that we won this award.
And the stigma.
And the stigma. Empower yourself.
Empower us all.
So we now go from the PEGASYS studios to the ICTV studios up at the Park School of Communications at Ithaca College. We have 4 entries in the ICTV studio category. The first one being Game Over, which is a weekly show dedicated to video games and, as they put it, geek culture. And that's produced by Chloe Landau, Aiden Glendon, Samantha Lemza, and Katie Goldberg. Sketch Me If You Can is our second entry. And Sketch Me is a Pictionary-style game show that pits 2 teams as they draw and guess and win and score. Brianna Legese and Thomas Jarmus are our producers. Good Day Ithaca is Ithaca's only weekly morning news show, airing on Fridays during the academic semesters. Good Day Ithaca is produced by Teddy Byrne, Katie Eckelman, and Kyle Johnson. And So You Think You Know Sports, our fourth and final entry in the ICTV studio category, is a sports game show produced by Charlie Novak, Matt Clement, and Ben Backrack. Let's take a look.
So, what is Gorge Keep?
Gorge Keep is a school of magic. It is the proprietary property of the Wizarding Weekend organizers, and this is now so that we have our own school of magic.
And as a college student myself, what is your tuition here at the Gorge School?
Oh, well, you know, it's like, it depends on the student. It's all student dependent. That's how we roll.
Excellent, thank you very much.
Yes, indeed.
Wow, everyone, it's been quite a magical weekend. I'm Reese Clausen, and now back to the studio.
So, Chloe, are you venturing into the Paradox Closet anytime soon?
No, the old hosts are warning me against it for now.
Really? How come?
I don't know, but every time I look out the door, I get a strange sense of deja vu.
Weird. Maybe it has a key role in your mysterious background.
It's possible. One thing they did tell me is the fragile nature of time.
Oh, do go on.
Well, it turns out the fabric of time is so frail, it has to reset every so often.
Wow, that concept has some terrifying implications.
That is.
Mushroom. Can we skip? Is it a sake? Is it soy sauce?
Yes,
Yes. Keep going.
You said sake, I was like, they don't have it.
Sushi. Sushi rolls. Wait, what is it? Edamame? 3, 2. What?
Okay, it was dumplings.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's a rough one. Okay.
That was actually quite good. I know that you had doubts from the beginning because as soon as I put down the clue, she went, okay. She like breathed in the throat. I was like, oh no. But what was the theme?
Should we just go for it?
If you're so confident, just go for it.
Just do it. Chinese food.
It was Chinese food. You guys are like really on the ball. Like,
yeah, do you see we slowly
scary when you guys are like, go again. Because I feel like I'm not living up to your guys' team standards, and I remember I'm the host of that on the Kids. But you did a really good job under the pressure.
The city of Ithaca is looking at new solutions to tackle the lack of parking downtown. A new comprehensive parking study will not only take inventory of where to park downtown, but it will also analyze how Ithaca will grow over the next 10 years and assess how much new parking will be needed during that time. Other points being analyzed in this study are occupancy rates, parking demands, revenues for on and off street parking, what the city pays to subsidize parking, and other downtown parking alternatives.
Various tourism agencies announced that over 5 million people visited the Finger Lakes region last year. In this time frame, a little over $2 billion were spent here. Most of the visitors were deemed as leisure visitors who spent an average of 3 days. The region's average visitor tends to come from other parts of New York State, Pennsylvania, or Canada. State parks, wineries, and historic sites are among the drivers of the tourism industry.
And now our very own Skylar Eagle visited a rehearsal of the Little Shop of Horrors production being held later this month at Boole's Flower Shop. Let's take a look.
For the first time, a production of Little Shop of Horrors is set to take place in an actual flower shop.
Lead producer for the show, Jacob Stuckelman, came up with the idea in 2016. The on-site production of Little Shop of Horrors will commemorate the 125th anniversary of Boole's Flower Shop in downtown Ithaca.
We are entering the final showdown, and in the final showdown, 3 categories will be given with 3 questions per category. Questions are worth 25, 50, and 100 points. Today's categories are biggest turnarounds, age is just a number, and the Jones. Yeah, you heard that one right. So, jump ball first to start us off to see who's going to start the final showdown. Here we go. Who was named NL Rookie of the Year this past week? That was Team 2.
Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso is correct. Polar Bear Pete,
I don't like
Pistol
this.
Pete, however you choose to address him, he won it. And with that, Team 2 is going to start us off in the final showdown. So what category are you going to choose and for what amount of points?
All right, we'll do Jones for 100.
Jones for 100. Here we go. What Jones played with LeBron James and went to 7 consecutive NBA Finals?
James Jones.
James Jones is correct. That's a pretty good start, Team 2. 100 points. And over to you, Team 1.
What were the other two categories again?
I thought you might need reminding.
Yeah.
Age is just a number, and the biggest turnarounds.
Want to go turnaround?
Yeah.
Turnarounds.
4?
100. Sorry, my fault.
All right. Here we go. What NFL team went from 4-12 in 1998 to winning the Super Bowl in '99?
The Ravens? Yeah, I think so. What was it, the Bucs? Oh, I think it was the Buccaneers. I think so.
5?
Or the Ravens?
Buccaneers.
4? Buccaneers. Incorrect.
Okay, so that was exciting. And what did the judges think? The judges thought that the winner of this category is Sketch Me If You Can. And it just so happened that I was able myself to catch up on a Zoom call with the producers of Sketch Me If You Can. So let's take a look at that brief conversation in which they get to do a few words of acceptance for their award. So I'm here with the winners of the ICTV Studio category. Below me is Brianna Laguesse, and to my right is Thomas Jarmus, and they are the co-producers of Sketch Me If You Can. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And you're home now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're both at home, I think.
Well, so the ICTV has already claimed your trophy. So this is what the trophy looks like, but this isn't actually the one because it's already been mounted and mounted forever with your names in it in the Wall of Fame. I did want to share a screen with, so you can kind of see what it looks like, even though it's not here anymore. It's already up at IC.
Oh, that looks so cool. I feel bad for any kid who sees that in the hallway and goes, wait, how do I pronounce both those last names? But
yes,
great.
But tell me a little bit about, I love this show. I watch this show all the time, and it's one of my things that if I'm in a bad mood, I can watch this show and it makes me feel better because it's almost like I've invited to a party. Who'd like to talk about what goes into making this show?
I can talk about it. So it's definitely, like you said, it's such a fun show to make. That's initially what drew me towards it. It was the first show I signed up for my very first semester of college, and it just seemed like such a fun time. And it was just so great recording every episode because it was such a positive energy. Definitely exciting playing a game show. So I think that's what really drew me to it and kept me continuing to participate in it.
Yeah, definitely. Same for me. I mean, it wasn't just the only show I was part of when I first joined. It was also one of the few shows I applied to. When we had that first IC recruitment night, I remember watching the promo for Sketch Me and just thinking, this table looks like fun. And when I went over, we had a fun tablecloth with sketches all over it. I was like, okay, I'm applying to this show. And fortunately, it was the only show I heard back from. And it's been the only show I've worked on since being at ICTV. And it's just such a fun experience every Tuesday night that, you know, it's the one big thing I missed when we went online. Although I'm looking forward to being back next semester.
I want to thank all of the crew that I've worked with in the past, especially my previous co-producers, Jordan and Caitlin. They taught me everything I knew, and I definitely couldn't have done it without them. And also our amazing crew who showed up every single week, giving their all. They really made the show what it was.
Yeah, definitely. No, our crew's absolutely amazing. Going live was as fun as it was scary. And from a non-TV major, having a crew that knew what they were doing or really excited to learn their jobs was awesome. And having master control and people at ICTV, the staff there is just phenomenal that could help me through and get us to a point where we could go live was incredible too. So I just want to thank all of them as well. And of course, I want to thank Charter Communications as well for this awesome award. Thank you. You guys are the best too.
Well, thank you so much for being with us, and congratulations on winning the ICTV Studio category. You know, you were way out in front of all the other entries, so the judges really loved your show. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
So moving on to the next category, it's instructional videos. And sometimes we don't have this category because we don't always have instructional videos, but this year we have two contestants. We've got one show called Conversemos, Cocinemos, Comamos, produced by Miguel Piri, which is a cooking, you learn to cook and you learn to speak Spanish at the same time, and a little bit about Spanish culture as well from different South American countries. So that's a really interesting series. And the second is a walk through Watkins Glen, which is produced by Tony Ingram, our retired park ranger, who actually wrote a book about Watkins Glen with a beautifully illustrated book. And he's kind of shown in this video a lot of the history of Watkins Glen. So there's our two contestants. So take a look.
Hola, buenas tardes amigos y amigas. Bienvenidos a nuestro show de español y cocina. Conversemos, cocinemos y comamos. Hoy vamos a preparar un rico salmón a la parrilla o al grill y lo vamos a acompañar con champiñones frescos. Ya tenemos el salmón listo para poner en el grill. Le vamos a colocar un poco de perejil, ajo y otros condimentos. También vamos a usar unos pimientos rojos, pimientos amarillos y anaranjados. Luego vamos a acompañar todo esto con una ensalada. Ya tenemos todos los ingredientes listos, como podrán ver. La cebolla, el pepino. También vamos a necesitar un poco de limón y unos tomates frescos para la ensalada.
The ravine called Watkins Glen is cut into the steep hillside on the west flank of the Seneca Lake Valley. It is a beautiful break in the skin of the earth, where a stream has sliced through hundreds of feet of ancient rock layers. For thousands of years, Glen Creek has roared and whispered through its confines, slowly deepening the rugged throat of rock and shaping its ledges, pools, and waterfalls. Water created Watkins Glen. Water is a stream that eroded the gorge. Water is Ice Age glaciers that bored the Seneca Lake Valley and changed the course of Glen Creek. And water in an ancient sea where sand and mud settled on the bottom, eventually to harden and become the very rocks the gorge is cut into. The magic of water and its works are what have brought people to the Glen, whether to harness water power for mills in the 1800s or to walk behind a waterfall in the 21st century.
And the winner is a walk through Watkins Glen. And so we've got a few words from Tony Ingram in acceptance of this award.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Lauren. This is a great honor. My normal show is, of course, Walk in the Park, and that's a series, but this was a special show I did called A Walk Through Watkins Glen, Water's Sculpture in Stone. That's actually the title of a book I wrote, 12 years ago. I said, I should make this into a video. So over the years, I worked on it, and I worked on it, and I worked on it. I said, oh, I've got to work on it so much this year, I don't have time to do other things. But man, it just took so many years to pull it together. And I got all this different footage at the park, and then found all kinds of maps and visual resources and things from NASA, and things that I could extend out more than just a walk through the Glen. It's like a virtual walk through the gorge, but it's expanded out the interpretation of the whole place through geologic history and geographic space and human history. and of course the ecology of the glen as well. So all those different things I tried to interpret and illustrate. And I drew my narrative virtually all from the book, and I worked on it, and finally I got it out last year. And I've also put it in DVD, and which I sell in the park, and it's also available online through Vimeo. So anyway, it's been really a labor of love that I've worked on through all these years, probably 10 years working on it to actually get it to come to fruition. So it's a great honor to be acknowledged for for what I was able to produce, and with all the background. Of course, I worked for the Finger Lakes State Parks for 24 years, and I did a lot at Watkins Glen. If you want to find out more about it, you can see a trailer. Actually, I have a trailer of the video. You can go to the website walkthroughwatkinsglen.com.
So we're now at the arts and culture category of tonight's ceremony. 3 entries. The first, The Kingdom Under the Sea, produced by Mary Milne. Homemade Jams, our second entry, produced by Jordan Alexander. And our final one coming from Ithaca College Television, On Beat, which is a weekly music show featuring in-studio music performances, produced by Eva Curie, Jerry Shepard, and Tony Smith. Let's take a look.
The next day, as Urashima was out fishing in his boat, he cast his net into the water. A giant sea turtle swam up beside him and spoke. "Thank you for saving that little turtle yesterday. My master, the sea god, wishes to thank you also and invite you to come down to the kingdom under the sea. Would you like to go?" "Well, wouldn't you?" Urashima jumped out of his boat and onto the back of the turtle with a great splash. And together they went down, down, and further down still, into the deepest part of the water, until they were at the very bottom of the ocean.
The day you got pushed in was the day you learned to swim. And then the tide kept rising, inch by inch. You tense up your spine, you test the waterline. Your arms are reeling, boy, you're barely breathing. Rise up, take some sweetness, and keep your head above the water. You keep your head above the water. Keep your head above the water. And you don't let your bridges down. Now the people who drown, they don't kick and they scream. They just step into the water silently. So much information, so much for one nation.
Hello, Bombers. This is Jackson Glider reporting on the dock at the Haunt, where we just saw Pale Hound perform, and boy, was it a good time. You know, they had great energy that only built as the night went on. There was sort of a bubble of the audience, leaving them some space between the stage by the first few songs. By the end of the night, everyone was pushed up to the edge. Everyone was dancing. Everyone had their hands in the air, moving all around. We're all having a good time. This was a bit more toned down for Palehound as compared in the past. A little bit less makeup, a little bit less costumes, but you know, it's an intimate setting. It's good to see that honesty on stage. I had the pleasure to speak with the front woman for the band backstage. How's it feel to be performing here in Ithaca tonight?
It feels really good. I really like Ithaca a lot. The last time we played Ithaca, someone got engaged on stage at our show, and I think that since then I've just had like, I don't know, there's a magic here for us now. So I'm really excited to be here.
So it's 2019. We're living in an age where more than likely the majority of your audience is hearing music for the first time on like streaming platforms. Yeah. But I noticed, and this is awesome, you got vinyls, there, you got CDs, stickers, lighters, everything.
And let's see what the judges thought of this category. As you can see, the winner is Homemade Jams. And Homemade Jams has been produced for a long time by Jordan Alexander. He has been at every single music venue in town. He has been to Grassroots every single year. And in fact, in the last week, as we're recording this, we ran about 20 years worth of Grassroots performances that he recorded at all different Grassroots as sort of a marathon, considering that there was no actual Grassroots this year. So we sort of had a virtual Grassroots on Channel 13. And Jordan is gonna be on hand virtually to give an acceptance speech. Here we go.
I want to thank all my friends in international support in the Ithaca community and the musicians. I really appreciate it for all of the music that they provide for this community. And I hope you have already, or you will enjoy some of our efforts during a pandemic time when all we have to remember about ourselves is through some of the videos that we produce. So in essence, we've captured through music a slice of life that will never be seen again. But most of all, I want to thank Reese Van Luken for her award-winning, talented editing. A lot of Homemade Jams would not be possible without her, and she's taken out a lot of miscues in some of these festivals and events with people's arms and legs waving, flailing through the air. But in spite of all that, it's been a good collaboration, and we have produced some award-winning videos, and this is another one of them. Thank you.
The next category is single speaker, anything where a popular topic in public access where we've got one person at a podium giving a speech and some community producer records it to share it with the community. And in this case, we've got two entrants, and Jordan Alexander and Wies Van Luken produced both of them, and so they're competing against themselves. So let's see what we've got here. The first is called Postcards, a series of short subjects that they put together on all different topics that they come across. And the second is a series called Over the Shoulder, which are longer things, which might include readings or seminars at Cornell or public speeches at all different sorts of venues. But that's our two entrants in this category, so let's take a look.
This is a book of essays and articles I wrote over maybe 40 years. They cover all kinds of subjects, and some will be of interest to some of you and some to none of you possibly. But I'm going to read a bit of several of them so as to give you an idea of what's up. I'm going to start with a bit of the first piece, which is called Autobiography, although actually there's a lot of autobiography in a lot of these pieces. Almost all of them I can't help intruding into one way or the other, but the first one is all autobiography, and it's called Nobody Asked You to Write a Novel. And I'll read just the first few paragraphs. All young children are imaginative and creative, and while they remain young, these qualities are usually fostered. Their grubby but delightful paintings and verses and stories are extravagantly admired, shown to visitors, tacked to the kitchen walls, actually the fridge mostly. But as children grow older, encouragement of imaginative creation is often quietly replaced by encouragement of what have begun to seem more important traits.
And the winner in the single speaker category is Over the Shoulder, and accepting on behalf of this production team is Wies van Luken. So let's listen to Wies.
Thank you. That was a really nice surprise. Thank you to the judges, and thank you very much to Lauren for making this event possible against all odds. Jordan Alexander and I have been producing Over the Shoulder since 2006, for almost 15 years now. He does the filming and I do the editing, and we cover public interest topics, mostly the arts and human rights. Editing Alison Lurie's reading was a treat. I'd been reading her books even before I moved to Ithaca, but never had the pleasure to hear her read her own work. She's a treasure. She was born in 1926 and is still going strong. The book she was reading from had just come out. It's a collection of her essays and articles, and called Words and Worlds, From Autobiography to Zippers. In it, she describes growing up as somewhat of an awkward child who loved telling stories and finding that this was one of the few things she could do well. She describes her time at Radcliffe in the 1940s and the everyday sexism of those times. She came to Ithaca in 1970 to teach children's literature and writing in the English department of Cornell University, and she was tenured in 1979, only the second woman at Cornell to be such merited. The program was filmed at Beverly Street Books, which is a nice intimate setting for readings and gives you plenty of opportunities to talk to the speaker afterwards. So altogether, it was really a great, wonderful pleasure to do this program. Thank you.
We are now at category 8, dramatic work. 4 entries in this category. The first being Sanctuary, produced by Tom Stern. The second entry is an episode titled Just a Fish from the musical series, scripted series, known as Subject to Change from ICTV, produced by Ryan Schleifman, Elise Derby, and Alyssa Denger. The 607 is actually season 2 of a production, and that's something that doesn't always happen at ICTV, but it's produced by Michael Kaplan, Tyler Harner, and Sam Marks. They added some new faces, some new characters, and some new storylines. And the final entry, entry number 4, Exposed, also from ICTV, produced by Tess Kneebone, Megan Schuschman, and April Gingrich. Take a watch, or take a look.
Mayor, once you have the president's attention, then what? Oh.
More tweets? An all-out Twitter war? I don't know. What's my next move?
You take forceful and decisive action in protection of the refugees.
Yeah, forceful. Trump will love that. No little namby-pamby powder puff mayor here. He's gonna have a real fight on his hands. We will tweet out a full-blown city proclamation that will shred Trump's best PR. When it's a war of words, we has the best.
Or we could start with some small action that could speak louder than words. There's a family of 6 Honduran refugees who are living under a bridge in Freeville. They trekked up all the way from the southern border.
All the way up from Pennsylvania?
No, Mayor, the Mexican border. All the way to Freeville.
Why Freeville?
Freeville is a sanctuary city. They have no place to put the family up, but at least they're safe for now under the bridge.
That one-horse town without a stoplight is a sanctuary. Who'd have guessed?
Freeville is only 10 miles from us, but we exist in their moral shadow. Mayor, Ithaca can be a sanctuary for this family and hundreds more.
Ithaca, a sanctuary city? I don't know. With all the college students here, I mean, who would even notice?
He said that.
Yeah.
About me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's done. He doesn't even know what he's gotten himself into. There will come a time when that man, that boy, will look upon the ruin of his life with tears in his eyes and realize the hard truth that so many before him have realized. You do not mess with Alyssa. Anyways, scram. I'm meeting with these guys.
What was that about?
My grandpa. Don't worry about it. So why are we acting like someone's parents died in a house fire? Did someone's parents actually die in a house fire?
Mason's fish died.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
So y'all are carrying on like it's the Hindenburg Part 2 because of a dumb fish?
Alyssa!
No, she's right. It is dumb.
It's not dumb.
Yeah, it is. It's a goldfish. I could easily just go to the pet store and replace it, and I wouldn't know the difference in a week. It's not like it had a personality or anything.
So why are you carrying on like his parents are dead? I already asked that. Proud of you for catching up, though.
Look, I just need a minute to think.
Last time I've checked, you've been on the run for a while. And seeing as you can't let this item out of your sight, let me take it off your hands for you. For 300,000. You know what? I think I can make you an offer.
Whoa.
Dirk, go call us in. It's a 1277.
At 11:52 a.m., Elizabeth Smith's video was leaked by an account called Wig Snatcher.
Sorry. Come on. Come on. I love to sing. I love to sing. Just think high notes. Just think high notes.
Hey, what did we say about singing in the room? I thought we agreed it'd stop.
Sorry.
Now, we don't really know any motives right now, and we don't really have any suspects, but that's why I'm here. Can we add some cool music behind that? Alright, sick. Right now, I'm on my way to the Theater Arts School Hillingdam to speak with our first victim and get her take on things. I mean, what was Wig Snatcher's intentions? And like, seriously, she doesn't have that many followers, so we can kind of rule out hate crime on this one.
Well, I hope you enjoyed those because what a lot of work goes into them. I'm not around up at ICTV to know what goes into it, but clearly there's a ton of people involved. Just look at the credits if you watch any of these works. The work that Tom Stern produced, Sanctuary, he spent months working on it, and he actually auditioned actors, he had scripts, he had rehearsals, and so it was an enormous production to put that together. So anytime you watch something that looks like it just happened, there's a lot of work behind it. So we've got to be really proud that in our community that we have creative people that are able to do that. Let's see what the judges thought of this category. And the winner is the 607. And so we've got the 607 to accept their awards. Let's listen to them.
Hi, everybody. I'm Michael Kaplan.
My name is Tyler Harner.
And we just want to thank you guys so much for this PEGASYS Award. It means a lot to us. And Tyler, we'll just we'll go back and forth with this. So go ahead.
Yeah, so first to the PEGASYS company, thank you guys so much for this award. It really means a lot to us that you guys chose our production for these 2 awards, and we really like to thank you for that.
Yeah. And to Ithaca College, to ICTV specifically, for allowing us to make this project. It was a long time coming. It was actually about a 2-year process for Tyler and I from conception to completion. So that was about end of freshman year to end of junior year. So we really want to thank ICTV for even allowing this project to come to fruition.
We'd also like to thank the station manager at Ithaca College, Jeremy Menard. He was our guide and mentor through our whole production, and he just meant a lot to this production. So thank you to him.
And to Jules Grillo, who was on the executive team for ICTV. She served as our script supervisor on a lot of the sets. She helped us with a lot of our issues that we faced along the production schedule. And she was an amazing asset to us and really great friend to it.
Also to Emma Biedenbender and to Sam Hong, who really helped us get our idea off the ground and helped us plan ahead even when we were on the other side of the country. So really big shout out to them.
Yeah, Tyler and I were in Los Angeles together, and we were still in the pre-production phase, so we had to work not via Zoom, but actually via FaceTime, because Zoom wasn't big yet. But we worked via FaceTime and got a lot of pre-production work done while we were in Los Angeles, which was really, really cool. We really want to thank our 2 associate producers, Samantha Marks and Matt Mastrangelo, for all of their hard work and time that they put into helping this come to fruition again, because this was it's not a 2-man project at all. There was a lot of man and woman power behind this.
Yeah, and finally, we'd like to thank our amazing cast and crew who was willing to deal with us on this overwhelming project for the time that we had it. And they were willing to stay up on some very late nights to make this production as fantastic as it is. So just big thank you to everyone that was involved in this production.
Yeah, we had some nice 8-hour days in there, which was really cool. We ended at latest one we ended was 2 a.m. So this was a really daunting task. This was a crazy undertaking for the 2 of us, and I'm so glad that we were able to make it happen. We ran into a lot of obstacles while making this and while going through production, but looking back, it was a fantastic experience, and it really helped me to become more well-rounded in this crazy world of production entertainment in so many different facets. So I really want to say personally, thank you very much for this award. This is my first award ever. So this is a very, very, very big honor for me, and I really appreciate this. So thank you very, very much.
Yeah, just like Michael, this is also my first award in college, so this just means a lot to us, and it's a great thing to put on our resume and to be able to show future employers. And doing this whole production, as Michael said, is just such great experience. It really was tough at times, and we ran into a lot of different problems. It seemed like things were going great one time, and then things would just go really bad the next day, and we always had to just find out different ways to work around our problems. And again, that's just some great experience, and it really means a lot that this award goes to us. So thank you guys so much, and we look forward to seeing what comes out of Pegasus in the future.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
The final of our 9 categories is short subject. We always have short subject. A lot of times, short subject is a good way that people that are learning how to make TV shows first get started. They make something short. And then there are other people who tend to specialize. This is what they like to do best. They do shorts. In this case, we have 2 short subjects. We have Signs of Sustainability, produced by Tom Stern, which is kind of really interesting because he chose the community producer, Will Metro, who makes the Political Point show that you've just seen, and he kind of goes behind the scenes to show a little bit about Will. So from a sustainability point of view. The other is Ask the Medievalist by Mary Milne, who is sort of a specialist in the short subject. And her programs are always whimsical, fanciful, and very creative. So let's take a look.
Signs of sustainability may show up in places we least expect. Within a sea of vehicles, Will Metro is fueled solely on shoe leather. When you walk a few miles every day, hauling the tools of your trade, the leather's got to be pretty resilient. When Will gets to work, there's nothing less sustainable about him. His energy requirements are few. He works with a bureaucracy of one, and he keeps everything he makes. Will doesn't laud power over anyone. It's a patient waiting game when your livelihood depends on being patient for people's attention.
You want to see some magic? Yeah.
But eventually someone finds their way over. You work a stadium or you can work on the street. There's no difference to the kids. Being up close and personal is what really counts.
Well, the story of St. George and the Dragon is one more example of an old human problem, feeding the monster. St. George's story with the dragon is actually based on human sacrifice, and a particular European version of human sacrifice, unlike, say, South American, Mesoamerican sacrifice, where children often were killed for ritual purposes. This is like the myths that go back to Theseus and the Minotaur, where there's a monster, sacrifices have to be made, and you bring the children there, you kind of shove them in, close the door, and you might hear the screams and the munching behind the curtain, but you don't think about it anymore. So those are the Western ways of telling the myth of feeding the monster. So in St. George, the version of it is that there's a dragon, and the dragon has to be fed. And so the community, the kingdom, starts giving them sheep, giving sheep to the dragon. The dragon gets sick of sheep and wants children. So they start giving children by lots, and eventually the lot falls to the daughter of the king.
All right, let's see what the judges thought of this category. As you can see, the judges really like them both. And the winner is Signs of Sustainability by Tom Stern. So we've got Tom Stern, who is actually the only one who was able to come here and pick up his award and have it for his acceptance speech. So he's the only one that's holding a PEGASYS Award for his little talk. And let's listen to Tom.
Thank you very much for the PEG Award, which I am particularly grateful to Will Metro for his participation. And let's hope for a lot more productions in the future. Thank you.
So I hope you've enjoyed all of these different examples of all the kind of shows that appear on Channel 13 and Channel 16. We've just got one more type of award to give, which is the Best of Public Access and the Best of Educational Access. That's 2 of each. So there's 4 winners. These are the 4 highest scoring shows in their category type as scored by the judges. So the highest scoring public access shows are Homemade Jams, produced by Jordan Alexander, and A Walk Through Watkins Glen, produced by Tony Ingram. So congratulations to you both. And the highest scoring educational access shows produced by ICTV producers are The 607 and Bombers Live. So congratulations to you guys as well. All 4 of these shows were the best of the best, the judges' favorite scoring shows of the competition. So congratulations to you, and congratulations to all of our other winners tonight. Thank you so much for participating. And for anybody out there who is just watching, I sure hope that you've got a taste that makes you want to watch more. Remember, Channel 13 and Channel 16 are on Spectrum's cable service. ICTV also is running online at ictv.org. You can see a live stream, and you can see archived episodes of all of the different series. So if you don't have cable, you can catch all of the ICTV series there, and you can catch up and bring yourself up to speed on any series that happen to have caught your eye. A lot of the PEGASYS producers for Channel 13 also have websites and YouTube channels. So if you go to the PEGASYS website and you go to the series page and you scroll down and you find a series that might be something that you saw a little bit of and you're interested in, you will find a link to the YouTube page for that particular producer, and you'll see all their episodes there, and you can catch up on them that way. So thank you so much for joining us. And Jeremy, thank you so much for being here with me to help me do the awards. It'll be wonderful next year when all the students and all our producers are back again and we can do things normally. But meanwhile, we're all staying safe, but we're still celebrating the best of public and educational access on our respective channels in our respective facilities. And those of you who are students at IC or community members, remember, you can join us and you can do it too. So thanks for joining us tonight. This is Lauren Stefanelli for PEGASYS. And
Lauren, thank you. My name is Jeremy Menard, General Manager of ICTV. Before we wrap things up, I just want to say thank you, Lauren, for putting this all together and for hosting the ceremony and the event each and every year, even away from the studios virtually this year. And thank you so much for your support, the PEGASYS support of Ithaca College Television. It's great that not only do we get to stream our content live during the academic semester, but also feature it on Spectrum Channel 16 is also great. And I want to congratulate all of the entries from ICTV, all of tonight's winners, of course, and thank all of the student volunteers who make ICTV such a special organization on campus. The support we receive from the Dean's Office and the Roy H. Park School of Communications, from the senior leadership team at Ithaca College, and also my co-advisor, Paul Stanion, as well, who is such a helpful guy and does so much for the organization. So I guess thanks all around, and thank you, Lauren, for letting me co-host with you this evening.
it's been a pleasure. And to everybody that's been watching, I hope you had a good time, and we'll see you next year. Good night.